Hi, welcome to my tutorial. In our today's class, we'll talk about or we'll discuss about vector addition and scalar multiplication. Vector addition, adding two vectors, which is given in two space or three space, how to add two vectors, and also we'll see the scalar multiplication, multiplying some scalar with vector. Har'a maal ilaalla? Har'a kan ilaallu vectorii lama akkamitti akka walitti daanuu fi scaalarii wayii akkamitti vectoriidhaan akka baay'isnu kan ilaallu ta'a jechuudha. Okay, let u is equals to u1, u2, and v is equals to v1, v2 be a vector in R2. Component lama waan qabuuf u1, u2 is in what? In R2. And let C be a real vector which is scalar, yes. And the sum of u and v is defined as, which is vector addition, yes. This one is a vector and this is also a vector. So the addition of these two vectors is given as u1 plus u2. The first coming components plus the first coming components of v, u1 plus v1, and a comma here u2 plus v2. The scalar multiplication will be, for example, cu. U by c is defined as the vector cu. Multiplying this c with what? With all components of u. C kana maal goona? Component u hundumaan baay'isna jechuudha. C times u1, c times u2 jechuudha. Okay, let us see the example for this one. Consider u is equals to 1, 2, and v is equals to 2, minus 1. Then find u plus v 2 times u. Here u plus v will be what? U plus v, which is equals to adding the components, the first components of the corresponding vector, which is u. The first component of u is 1 plus the first component of v, which is 2, and then 2 plus of negative 1. Then 1 plus 2, 2 plus minus 1. 1 plus 2 which is equals to what? Which is, 2 plus minus 1 which is equals to 2 minus 1 which is equals to 1. So u plus v is equals to this one. What about 2u? 2u which is equals to 2 times what is u? U which is 1, 2. Here c times u which is equals to here c times u1, c times u2. So this is equals to what? 2 times 1, 2 times 2, which gives us 2 times 1 which is equals to 2, and 2 times 2 which is equals to 4. Yes, 2 times 2 is equals to 4. Here u plus v is equals to 1 plus 2, which is the first element of u plus the first element of v1 plus 2, and 2 plus minus 1 is equals to 3, 1, and 2 times u is equals to 2, 4 jechuudha. Okay, what are the properties of vector addition and scalar multiplication in the plane or in R2 keessatti property yookiin amaloota vector addition fi scalar multiplication kan ilaallu ta'a jechuudha. Let u, v and w be a vectors in R2. And let c and d be scalars. Then u plus v is in R2, which means closer addition is closed yes, addition is closed. Kana jechuun veektarii lama yoo walitti hidhaane maal ispeesiin isaa maal ta'a? Ispeesiin isaa r square ta'a jechuudha. Fakkeenyaaf let's say u is equals to 1 comma 2. This one is what in R2, and V which is equals to 2 comma 3. Okay. Then u plus v multa u plus v which is equals to u plus v which is equals to here 1 plus 2 which is equals to 3 comma, and here 2 plus 3 which is equals to 5. Yes. And this is also what? This is also an element of R2, which is an element of R2, right? Which is an element. So addition is closed. Yes, addition is closed under vector addition. Okay, commutativity property u plus v is equals to v plus u yookaan ለምሳሌ እዚህ ጋር asitti maal ta'a? v plus u maalidha? v plus u which is equals to what? Adding this one to this one is 2 plus 1 which is equals to 3 comma 3 plus 2 which is equals to 5. So u plus v is equals to v plus u. So addition is what? Addition, vector addition is commutative. Vector addition is commutative. And here vector addition is also associative. Yes, associative property of addition. Yes, and u plus 0 is equals to u. When we add 0 on a vector, we obtain what? We obtain the vector u. So u is what? U is additive identity. Additive identity jechuun wanta tokko fakkeenyaaf lakkoofsa u haa ta'u lakkoofsa sanarra lakkoofsa wayii eda'anii lakkoofsuma san yoo arganne maal jedhama? Additive identity jennaan jechuudha. Asitti veektarii irratti veektarii wayii veektarii irratti eda'anii veektarii masa yoo argannu ta'e veektarii itti eda'ame sun maal jedhama? Additive identity jennaan jechuudha. Kanaafuu zero is what? Zero is additive identity. Additive inverse jechuun lakkoofsa fakkeenyaaf number system keessatti lakkoofsa wayii lakkoofsa biraa irratti argannee additive identity yoo kan hubannu ta'e maal jedhama? Lakkoofsi sun additive inverse jennaan. Fakkeenyaaf lakkoofsa keessatti tokko eda'uu negative tokko maal nuu kenna? Zero nuu kenna. Zeroon maalidha? Zeroon additive identity dha. Kanaafuu minus 1 kun maal ta'a? Additive inverse ta'a jechuudha. Vectorii keessatti ammoo u plus minus u. U plus minus u which gives us what? 0. So minus u is what? Additive inverse ta'a jechuudha. Okay. Scalar multiplication is also closed. Yes. Closure under scalar multiplication. And the distributive property also holds c times u plus v is equals to cu plus cv which is equals to which is equals to u plus v times c times c, which is the distributive properties. And here c plus d times u equals to cu plus d, which is the distributive property. And here 1 is what? 1 is multiplicative identity. Yes, this scalar 1 is what? The multiplicative identity. Okay, the zero vector in R2 is called, as we said in the property of vector addition and scalar multiplication, zero vector is what? It is an additive identity in R2. The vector minus b is called the additive inverse of what? The additive inverse of v. These are the properties of additive identity and the additive inverse. Okay, let v be in R2 and the CB scalar, then the following properties are true. The additive inverse is unique, that is u plus v is equals to v. Then this u is what? This u is 0, which is an additive inverse. Then u malta ka 0 nu ka kana b ne wal kita nu kennu danda'u yoo u bakka u kana maaltu gale 0 yoo gale maal argachuu dandeenya? 0 plus v is equals to v. Kanaafuu u is equals to 0 kun maalidha? Additive identity which is always 1, yes, which is always 1 which is equals to 0. The additive inverse of v is unique, that is u plus v is equals to 0. Kana jechuu danda'u maal ta'e yoo bakka kanatti minus v ta'e qofaadha jechuudha. Fakkeenyaaf u fakkeenyaaf v is equals to 1,2 yoo ta'e walitti hidhamee ka 0 nu kennuu danda'u. Fakkeenyaaf let's say u is the additive inverse u plus v which is equals to what? Let's say u is equals to a comma b, then u plus v which is equals to what? u plus v is equals to a plus 1 comma b plus 2, which is a plus 1 comma b plus 2. This is equals to what? Additive identity ta'uudhaaf u'in additive inverse ta'uudhaaf u'in maal nu kennu qabaasitti 0 vectorii nu kennu qaba. 0 vectorii 0, 0, yes. Then as we have discussed on the last paragraph, two vectors are said to be equal if the component the corresponding components of the vectors are equal. So a plus 1 is equals to what? a plus 1 which is equals to 0, and b plus 2 which is equals to 0. And here from this one a is equals to what? A is equals to negative 1, and from here b is equals to what? B is equals to negative 2. Then what is u? U is equals to a comma b. U is equals to multa negative 1 comma negative 2. Then factor out negative 1, which is equals to negative 1 times negative 1 times 1 comma 2. And here this 1 comma 2 is what? 1 comma 2 is v. This is equals to what? It is equals to negative beta. So u is equals to negative v is what? The additive inverse, which is additive inverse. So 0 times v is equals to 0. If we multiply 0 scalar 0 with any vector v, we obtain what? We obtain a 0 vector. Then some scalar times a 0 vector gives us what? The 0 vector. And if c times v is equals to 0, then either c is equals to 0 or v is equals to 0. Okay, the negative of negative v is equals to gives us v. Okay, what is the standard basis vectors? Here are the standard basis vectors in R3, which is I is equals to 1, 0, 0, j is equals to 0, 1, 0, equals to 0, 0, 1. These are what? The standard basis vectors in R3. Here, these all standard vectors, their magnitude is what? The magnitude of these all standard basis vectors is 1, yes. Similarly, in 2 dimensions or in R2, the standard basis vectors will be I is equals to 1 comma 0 and j is equals to 0 comma 1. And here, for 2 dimension, it can be just described graphically. I is equals to 1 comma 0, j is equals to 0 comma 1. And here, for the 3 space, it will be given graphically in these ways. Okay, if H is equals to A1, A2, A3, then we write H is equals to A1, A2, A3. Then this is equals to what? A1, 0, 0 plus 0, A2, 0 plus 0, 0, A3. Akkanatti barreessuu dandeenya jechuudha. Maaliif kana olitti hidhannee maal arganna? Isa kana arganna waan ta'eef. Then factor out A1. A1 factor out yoo goone maal ta'a? We obtain A1 into 1, 0, 0 plus A2 0, asitti factor A2 factor out yoo goone 0, 1, 0 ta'a jechuudha. A3 ammoo asitti factor out yoo goone 0, 0, 1 ta'a jechuudha. This one is what? I. Yes. And here in 3 space, I is equals to 1, 0, 0, j is equals to 0, 1, 0, k is equals to 0, 0, 1 even though here A1 times this one is I and this one is j and this one is what? K. So A1 times I plus A2 times j plus A3 times k. That's any vector in space can be expressed in terms of what? I, j, k. Any vector we can express any vectors in 3 space in terms of I, j, k and ibsuu dandeenya. Vectorii kamiyyuu I, j, k and ibsuu dandeenya jechuudha. Okay, for example, vectoriin kun maal ta'a? Vectoriin kun vector b which is equals to 1, 2, 3. I j k dhaan yoo ibsinu maal ta'a? 1i isa jalqaba irra jiru kana 1i plus 2j plus maal ta'a? 3k ta'a. Every 3 space vectors can be expressed in terms of what? I, j, and k. Kanaan ibsuu dandeenya jechuudha. Okay, let us see the examples. If h is equals to I plus 2j minus 3k and b is equals to ki plus 7k, then express the vector 2a plus 3b in terms of I, j, k. Fakkii kanaan tarreessaadha jechuudha. Kana jalqaba irratti kana maal gochuu dandeenya? Bifa kanaan kaa'ullee dandeenya yookiin akkanumatti fufuu dandeenya jechuudha. So 2 times a maal ta'a? 2 times a. First 2 times a is equals to 2 times I plus 2 times 2 is 4j minus 2 times 3 which is 6k. Akkas jechuudha. Akkasitti argamu kana plus 3b which is 3 times b which is 3 times 4 12i which gives us this one times 3 times 7 which is equals to 21. Then collecting like terms we have 2i plus 12i which is equals to 49, 4j plus 4j plus minus 6k plus 21k gives us 15k equals to, which gives us 2a plus 3b equals to this one. Asitti maal gaafichi maal nu gaafate? A'n yoo akkana ta'e b'n illee yoo akkana ta'e 2a plus 3b kana bifa kamiin ibsaa jedha? Bifa ijk dhaan ibsaa jedha. Amma asitti 2a dha. Kuni maalidha? Scalar multiplication dha. 3b maalidha? Scalar multiplication. 2a fi 3b kuni maalidha? Walitti yoo idaanu vector addition jennaan jechuudha. Akkamitti akka walitti daanu dabarsinee jirra. Asitti 2a kana 2 kana maaliin baay'isuudha? A'dhaan. Waan as keessa jiru kana hundaan baay'isa. 2 times a jechuun 2 times I plus 2 times 2j. 2 times 2 is equals to 4j akkasitti argitan kana 2 times this one. 4j 2 times 3 which is equals to negative 6k ta'a jechuudha. Plus 3 times bb jechuun isa kana 3 times 4i plus 7k. 3 times 4 maal ta'a? 12i plus 3 times 7 21k ta'a jechuudha. Wal fakkaatan walitti da'uudha. 2i plus 12i maal ta'a? 14i ta'a. 4j walitti da'amuu hin qabu akkasuma fudhanna. Minus 6k plus 21k maal kenna? 15k. Kanaafuu 2a plus 3b equals to 14i plus 4j plus 15k ta'a jechuudha. Thank you for your attention. Galatooma. Akka dafeetiin wanti an barsiisu isin bira gahuuf chaanaalii kana subscribe, share, like gochuudhaan akka chaanaaliin kun guddatu taasisaa isiniin jedha. Galatooma.